you. Very good to hear. Nice. Can you better than that? Can you raise it on? You clap again. Thank you for being the confidence in me. Welcome to Bangalore Toastmasters Club, meeting number 1257. So Friday evening, we're all here back in a live meeting. I think that should raise the tone. Let's raise the energy. We're not back sitting at home on our laptops or mobile phones. Raise yourself. It's a meeting specially prepared for you. We have a line of speakers, prepared speakers, table topic session, evaluation session, all just here for you. And this lineup will not be possible without a team. And how many of you like basketball? Any basketball fans in the audience? Any basketballers? Yeah? The basketball is a sport first played in the United States of America in 1891. And this sport really brings and inspires me to be a better person. Play that sport. It's not a solo game. It's not something which I can just play by myself. It's a team effort. This basketball game, sport, always inspires me to try harder, be a better person, succeed at getting the shots in. All of you are aware of basketball, right? Yeah? Now, I look up to one person in this sport. He's a very renowned world speaker, sports person, right? Yeah. And he's known for his history for his efforts and his achievements. When I researched about him, what was his lifeline? What was his struggle? What was his childhood? This man has been through a lot. He loved the sport, but he was short. Couldn't do well when he was a kid, in his childhood. But his determination to be a better basketball player made him try again and again and again. Eventually, he grew up to be this young, handsome, solid basketball player. The short person was 6 foot. Wow, what a change. But even in his physical ability to be a better person playing a sport, he was not able to be a better sports person in the game. Because of that broken his self-esteem, didn't do well in his career. He put himself, he was best in the sport. Missing the shots. Now I myself, when I play basketball, there's such pretty girls sitting on the side. When I miss the shot, I don't feel so bad. I missed the shot. Now this person didn't miss once. He didn't miss 2 shots. He didn't miss 100 shots. He missed 9,000 shots. That will break somebody. Break somebody to not try again. Apart from losing 9,000 shots, missing 9,000 shots, he lost 300 games. Not once, 26 times. And this person did not give up on being a sports person, a basketball player. 2 matches, if I play tournament and if he just put out the ego and attitude and I lost, but he tried, succeeded, and practice. His success, his dedication, he's won 6 National Basketball Association awards. He's led a Chicago Bulls team. And he rings a bell. And he's won the most valuable player award. Not once, he's won it 5 times. And I checked it, he's won 5 times. And he's won 3 most valuable player awards. Now, all of this must be ringing a bell that who's this kind of person? And this person has endorsed brands such as Nike, he's endorsed brands such as McDonald's. And from being nobody, trying hard, this person is none other than Michael Jordan. He's endorsed a shoe after his name, Jordans. Hey, what of Jordans? Yes. Wow, what a sport, what a game, what a player. I can go on talking about this person, but we have time to really mellow down talking about Toastmasters. Let's picturize this as a basketball court, and these are the boundary lines. Let's not move out here. If we move, let's the referees here, Janet's in charge of the boundary lines. Like in every sport, there are rules. Let's not talk about anything related to sex, religion, or politics. It's a beautiful environment here. Let's make such good use of it using the word of the day. And this phenomenal meeting ahead, the next level, we have a person here like Michael Jordan, young, dashing, handsome young gentleman. And whenever I have to see in Toastmasters, who's that dream runner following his passion? Hey, this is the person. And he's an entrepreneur. And he has a spirit of entrepreneur in him. He's been through a lot. He's built himself to be a self-made man, a dreamer, a true gunner, self-made man. Please help me welcome him on stage, our very own president, Toastmaster.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests.
Good evening.
Welcome you all to this, our wonderful meeting here in Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Before I proceed, I declare the meeting number 1257 open. May I request our secretary, Toastmaster Kamlesh, to read out the minutes of the last meeting, please.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So I'm going to give the highlight of last meeting. The meeting has started exactly on time, and we had 65 members and guests together, meeting online and offline. And this was the first offline meeting that started this year. We had an amazing speaker and the role takers, and the best speaker for the evening were DTM Rajiv Manmani and Sujit, best evaluator DTM Sumitra Panmohan, and best role taker Toastmaster from Sekar, best tag team player Toastmaster Vincent D'Souza, and best table topic speaker was Toastmaster Vijayan. So this was a highlight. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kamlesh. Dear members, any changes in the minutes, right? No. Thank you, Toastmaster Kamlesh. We have many wonderful guests in our meeting today. I request all our guests to stand up and give 2 to 3 lines about introduction. Let me see who is going to be your best introduction. Let's start your name, where you work, and if you're a Toastmaster, yes, which club you're from.
My name is Akshita.
Thank you, Rashid.
Yeah, this is Praveen. This is my first meeting offline. I work at XC. This is my first meeting. I'm working in the Indian bank and I'm from Bangalore.
Hi.
Yeah. Yes. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Nikita. I'm a lawyer and this is my first time.
Thank you.
I am Rashid from
Thank you. Okay. Thanks for revealing a secret.
I'm Chitra Rajendra. I'm assistant professor in college. For past 5 years, I'm pushing myself to join this Toastmaster. But now my daughter has brought me here to join. So this is my second guest.
Hi, my name is Anita Kumar. I am a lecturer and also currently now in Pune. I have been a couple of Toastmasters events and I really love it and I watch out the couple of videos on the YouTube. So I'm very eager and looking for the join. Thank you.
Thank you. Dear members, how shall we acknowledge our guests? What does it take to be successful? Being a doctor, engineer, we read a lot of motivation stories, right? And what happens? As I still remember one of Toastmaster Vivek's table topics. The more we watch motivation videos, we become demotivated, right? So what could be the reason? Because you're not taking action on that. We just enjoy the videos and those people will make money, right? Unless we take action, nothing will move. Taking action is very, very important in life, not just watching the motivation videos. See, last week what happened was, the people who doesn't know about my personal life, I love to be, I'm a fitness guy. It's one of my passions. I'm not a fitness freak. I'm a fitness enthusiast rather. Okay. So I was in a gym. I was, doing the push-ups. Usually I can do up to 26 to 36 is the maximum I can do it. That particular day, when I reached up to 33 or 34, I was completely exhausted. I was about to collapse. My coach said, you can do it. I just looked at the wall. There was something was written. Failure is not about falling down. It's all about refusing to get up, not to get up. You believe it or not, the moment I said, I pushed myself, I continued still more. I was able to manage 50 repetitions at one go. That's all because of my effort. If you really make your effort, anything is possible. That day I realized anything is possible. If I just want to do something, it is possible. Yeah. I mean, we read about a lot of successful stories about Mother Teresa, so many great personalities, right? But what are the small things we do in our life? You should enjoy and do 100%. That is very, very important. 3 years back, because I went to one of the engineering colleges to give a motivational talk. One of my friends told me, just come and give a talk. It's one of the reputed colleges in Bangalore. Somehow I was very timid, though I was a Toastmaster, bit timid and very shy kind of guy. I went to the college and it was around 10:30. I stepped into the auditorium. The auditorium was full, around 300 plus people, all be mechanical and civil guys. You can imagine being mechanical and civil guys. There is a guy sitting in the right corner over there. I said, oh, shiny baldy head. I was literally nervous. I didn't want to speak, right? All my content, whatever prepared, everything was, going away like. I told, Ayappa, you're here, give something to the audience. Be here. You want to transform the people. I continued my talk. After 5 minutes, you believe it or not, there was a pin drop silence. And it was a 30 minutes talk plus 15 minutes Q&A. A lot of people started asking questions. There was one gentleman who was making noise at that corner. He just was lying on the desk. His name was Vijay. I asked Vijay, what happened? Oh, you're lying down. I said, no, nothing, I'm okay. It's very, very kind of, heavy guy also. I said, no, Vijay, I understand. Something really must have happened. That's why you're lying down. I generally got up. You believe it or not, I could see the tears rolling down his cheeks. And he just hugged me and said, sir, for the last 5 years, I did not talk to my dad. We are very rich. There was no scarcity of money, wonderful house, car, everything was there. I used to reach home by 11 o'clock by the time my dad would have slept. I got up very late in the morning. So by the time my dad would have gone to the office, for the last 5 years, I didn't talk to my dad. Thanks for realizing that, because I didn't even know that I need to talk to my dad. Okay. That particular moment, I said, you go and confess, talk to your dad today itself. He went home and confessed, talked to his father. And even today, that guy and that entire family in touch with me. I'm so happy, blessed to have these kind of people. I transformed one gentleman in my life. That was the first motivational talk, right? So had I not stepped out of my comfort zone, this wouldn't have happened. So always, there is something we can do to the society. We have to try. It's not about engineer, doctor, nothing. There are much more beyond that we can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, even in Toastmasters as well, your constant effort, your perseverance, will make you a powerful speaker. It is not about, don't be under the impression just reading the books or attending seminars or watching some talks, you will become a powerful speaker. You have to come here, get into the line of public speaking. This is sovereign path of Toastmasters, very important for you to become a powerful speaker. I would call Toastmasters fraternity, Toastmasters path is the epitome of public speaking, I would rather say. Now, to take the meeting further, we have a gentleman amongst us. Always when I look at him, it is very calm and composed guy. And his general evaluation, whether it is whatever, the speech, everything is kind of, a treat to listen. is an entrepreneur, is into hospitality and tourism industry. He's been in Bangalore Toastmaster for the last 5+ years. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please put your hands together to welcome on stage Toastmaster Al Arana.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Can I hear that again? I got a loud voice from here and then it just went to speak over there. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It's so wonderful to have everyone talking back and it's not a computer.
Yes.
Right? Because when you say, let's have a big round of applause, we see the yellow hand, right? And no sound. So this is absolutely wonderful and best to have this opportunity to address all of you. Now, the theme, when I looked at it, success is not learned, it's earned. Very heavy words here. So I quickly went to Google and thought about what exactly should I talk about. But as I went on, nothing seemed to, resonate. There were great examples like Ayappa brought out Mother Teresa, and like he said, Michael Jordan, a lot of examples. And I said, no, I should look within. Let's look at personal stories. And I just wanted to narrate the story of mine. Okay. So in 2013, I got introduced to Bangalore Toastmasters by Mr. Robinson D'Souza, one of the founders of Bangalore Toastmasters. Now, when that happened, I was like, I know English, I can speak, I probably don't need this. But when I came there as an audience, looking at people speaking here, I realized how much I don't know. But then I had the solution. I said, I'm going to come there every time, sit there and learn from everyone who comes here and speaks. Great idea. But I slowly realized that's not how it works. You've got to earn the success that you want. So it took taking up roles, coming up on stage, facing your fears. And today in 2021, if I'm able to stand here and talk to you, it is only because of Bangalore Toastmasters and the fact that Mr. Robinson D'Souza in 2013 happened to introduce me. Now, why am I narrating the story to you? I'm narrating the story to you because every one of you who are here, whether you're members who have inspired me or a guest who feels they cannot come here and speak, it is possible. You can create a path that's extraordinary. You just have to earn it and not sit there and try to learn. Now, while we talk about success, why go any further than Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, who started this in his basement. I'm sure he must have quickly thought about, is this really possible? But today, the Toastmaster movement, we have over 15,000 clubs in over 122 countries. And this success is earned. Let's talk about the meeting number 1,257. It started with that one meeting, and it took so much to earn this success, right? And it all starts with that single step. Now, today's meeting is going to be divided into 3 parts. We have the prepared speech session, we have the table topics session, and we have the evaluation session. Now, the prepared speeches are where speakers prepare their speeches, come on stage and deliver it. Table topics is where they're given topics, on the spot, and they have to talk about it. And evaluation is where we get to learn about how we can get better. Okay, every single person in this room learns how they can get better. Now, success exists only when leadership exists. Speaking of leadership, it is my privilege to introduce the general evaluator for today. Now, when I spoke to her and asked her, what does success mean to you? She said, there is nothing called failure. It's just feedback. She considers herself a true Mumbaiker, and not many people know, but that she speaks Marathi. It's my privilege and honor to introduce the G, who will introduce her role and the team that is going to assist her through the meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for TTM, Sumitra Manmohan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alan, for that great introduction. Today, I'm here as your quality assurance person to ensure that the meeting runs as per the guidelines set down by Toastmasters. And I have a team of speech evaluators who will give your feedback as to how the speakers performed. And to ensure that every aspect of Toastmasters is maintained, I have yet another team to help me give all of you feedback, because I said there is no such thing as failure, it is only feedback. So my team, the talent team for today, is the timer role has been taken up by Jainan. Can you please read out, explain your role to the people
As the
present?
timer today, my duty is to record the timing of each speaker on the stage. And when the table topic speakers and the prepared speeches come on stage, I have 3 cards to show. Like for example, if a speech is for 5 to 7 minutes long, then at the 5th minute I show the green card, then at the 6th minute I show the yellow card, and at the 7th minute I'll show the red card. And so like that is when you're supposed to wind up your speech, and speech will go on for at max 30 seconds after that. And for the table topic speeches, it depends on the table topic master. Usually it's around 2 minutes, according to which at 1 minute I will show the green card, at 1.5 minutes I show the yellow card, and at 2 minutes I show the red card, and at that time we have to start. Just hoping that everyone stays within the time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jaina. And to help me with our counting, we have Mr. Karthik to help us. I will be giving the feedback on that aspect.
Thank you, General Evaluator. As an R counter, I'll be listening very carefully for the use of vocal pauses and clutch words such as and any repetitive words. I believe these affect your effectiveness of the speech, and so please watch out. At the end of the meeting, I'll be submitting my report to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthik. And to help us get our feedback on our usage of language, we have our Toastmaster Nasneen in the role of the grammarian. Can you please explain your role, Nasneen?
Good evening, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, esteemed participants, and honored guests. As a grammarian, I shall observe as a part of English grammar, blended way with language and the grammar usage of all speakers, noting incomplete sentences, word choices, mispronunciations, grammatical errors, non-sequiturs, malapropisms, hyperbole, etc. The word of the day is sovereignty, meaning supreme power, freedom from external control. Example, Nor was the sovereignty of the native Hawaiian race recognized at the time Hawaii became a state. You are encouraged to use the word of the day as frequently as possible. You could in a meeting, and I will count how often you would be using it. As we enter the season of love, friendship, and sovereignty, intact, all the best to all the speakers. I shall provide my report at the end of the meeting. Back to you, Jen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nasmi. And to ensure that you listen well throughout the meeting, we have someone who's already sort of given you the test of listening, and that's none other than Toastmaster Varsha. Can you please explain what you're going to do today actually in the meeting?
Namaskar and good evening, Toastmasters. I am Varsha from BTMC, playing a dual role of one, a quiz master and a listener. I just want to give you a basic difference as to what hearing and listening is all about. The difference between both hearing and listening. So hearing is all about getting sounds into our ears, whereas listening is all about hearing with complete attention. So as a listener today, it's not my duty just to listen, but it is also my duty to enable others listen carefully. And as a part of it, I already started quizzing on the Toastmasters on the WhatsApp group. I'll repeat the same activity when one is want to do so. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Varsha. We've already picked up our ears and all set to listen. And it's back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Alan. Thank you.
Now we're going to move on to the prepared speeches, and our first speaker is going to be attempting level 2 project 3 of the dynamic leadership pathway. How many of you like music here? Okay. Now, not the speaker, his evaluator loves to listen to English rock music. So, may I request the speaker's evaluator, Jose Paul, to read the guidelines.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Toastmasters and dear guests, this speech has two purpose statements. Number one, the purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define things. Number two, the purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Joe. Now, when I ask the first speaker, what does success mean to him? He said success is getting up every day with a view of the mountain and not having an agenda. How we wish we all had that, right? Now, something interesting that you need to know about the next speaker is that he likes to drink bottlewood and beetroot juice every morning. Okay, not chocolate milkshake, guys. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, with his speech title, Being a Protege, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Alok.
A mentor sees more talent and ability in you than you see in yourself, said Bob Proctor, a Canadian self-improvement author. The Toastmasters and guests, and those wonderful people on the laptop. Today, I want to speak to you about 3 people who helped me grow and get better as an individual. When I look back, the first mentor that I probably had was my English teacher. Now, she didn't teach me English till I was in class 10, but somehow we knew each other since I was in class 4. She always conceptualized these school annual days, and somehow I always ended being a part of them. I remember enacting a small role with a couple of dialogues when I was in class 4, and that was probably when she started keeping an eye out for me. She used to give me opportunities to participate in inter-school competitions that were English related. And though she wasn't teaching me, she would every now and then look at my composition pieces and suggest how I could get better. Where a proper structure started forming in our rapport was probably when I was in class 7. It was at that time that I started realizing that public speaking as a skill is something that I could nurture for a lifetime. And there she was, training me in language, content, voice modulation, body language, gestures, postures, every little intricacy that helped me get started on that journey. Every evening after school, I used to look forward to those 30 to 40 minutes in her cabin where I would practice for the latest elocution, debate, or declamation that I was training for at that point in time. Now, one lesson that she taught me and that stays on with me is how she helped me to develop that art of pausing. So those were the days when we used pencil and paper to write down the script, right? She would say, Alok, whenever you want to pause, just draw a line between the two words where you intend to make the pause. So that way, you're not just visualizing the pause, you're actually viewing the pause. And that is a lesson that I still continue to use whenever I have a chance to write a script on pen and paper. So that was my English teacher, helping me discover the language, helping me discover my skills in public speaking. Now, a few years later, there was this person who helped me discover myself more. She's a counselor, and our first interaction was a chance interaction because I landed in the cabin thanks to a couple of friends. Now, at that time, I was someone who believed that I know best, and that even meeting a counselor was a taboo. We had our first interaction, and I came back feeling overwhelmed. She was a graphologist, and with a couple of sentences of my handwriting, she unearthed the deepest facets of my personality. And that day, I realized my personality was not that deep after all. From helping me affirm that I was more confident than I actually believed, to helping me discover the paradigm of self-awareness, to helping me develop that attitude of gratitude, she has always been there for me when I knocked her door. Our first conversation, like I said, was an interaction that I didn't even want to acknowledge to the outside world. But today, it's a relationship that I respect, and I choose to go back to her whenever I find myself in a spot. Simple statements that she makes, be it saying, Alok, you need to give yourself a pat on the back once in a while. Alok, you need to respect yourself and place yourself in the center of the universe. Or saying, Alok, you have to develop an attitude of gratitude. These statements are statements which I remember every day, and they continue to have an impact on my day-to-day life. Now, this habit or this characteristic of saying an attitude of gratitude is something that resonates with the third person that I want to talk to you about today. This is my Toastmasters mentor. Now, whenever he comes on stage, it's a lesson for us in wordplay, in conviction, in timing, and a host of other qualities that are aspirational for any speaker. And when you meet him in person, he's always on top of the world. Every discussion with him starts off with this high of positivity. He never tells me what I have to do, but instead asks me what I intend to do, and then propels my speech in the right direction by asking me the right questions. He never tells me that I'm wrong, but it's always with him saying, Alok, please correct me if I'm wrong. Now, that's how we embark on our correction journey. And he's never someone who says, Alok, you should do this. He's always a person who says, Alok, what if you could do this? Needless to say, along with learning how to be a better speaker, I'm also learning how to become a better coach from him. Dear Toastmasters and guests, all three mentors that I just described have helped me get better at a certain specific skill in the short term and get better at life skills in the long term. They've always helped me achieve a better clarity of thought and action. Toastmasters, life bestows on you different mentors at different times in your life. And each of them has their own unique flavor that they impart to you so that you become a more complete recipe. You may never get a chance to be a mentor, but never miss an opportunity of being the prodigy. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Alok. After a speech like that, if any of you all want to contact him for being, for him to be your mentor, you can contact the Untitled president after the meeting. Okay. Thank you for that wonderful, wonderful speech. Now, moving on to the next speech. Our next speaker is attempting level 2, project 3 of the persuasive influence pathway. Now, when it comes to her evaluator felt successful, but she felt really successful when she learned to swim 5 years ago. Now, another unique thing about this evaluator is that every time she turns on the mixer grinder, she has to sing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, may I request the evaluator, Riza, to read the guidelines of the speech. Sorry, it's the same guidelines and it doesn't have to be introduced. That was just an introduction for her, so she doesn't have to read it. Now, coming on to the speaker. Our next speaker is a multi-cuisine cook for whom success is a picture full of happy faces. With her speech titled FPG, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Smita Roshi.
Mr. Francis, an English teacher. He was taking a reading lesson and asking students one by one to stand up and read aloud. As soon as one child sits, one little girl raises her hands. Sir, can I? In fact, she never put her hand down. After 40 minutes, I can still remember the disappointment and dismay on her face, and she didn't get it done. Good evening, Toastmasters and distinguished guests.
Good evening.
The disappointment and dismay on her face, I know well because I was that little girl. As years passed by, my tryst with public speaking started in school days. My father would write some speeches. I will say them in any occasions. But as years passed by, the public speaking went to the back seat, and 3 babies entered the front seat. The first one, my public babies, all the students I teach. Second one, my private babies, 2 sons. And the third baby, the biggest of all, my husband. Once, a major inter-school event was happening, and I was given the duty of doing the registration of events. I had done all the background work well. Everything was done perfectly. However, when the organizing committee asked me a few questions, I was so tongue-tied. It looked like as if I haven't done anything. That's when I felt I have to brush up my communication skills. I joined Toastmasters. In BTMC too, my hand was always up. Well, naturally. But here, there were people who saw my raised hand, my cry for help, and they were my mentors. My friend, philosopher, guide, FPGs. My first mentor, Mr. Prakash Francis. He had so much confidence in me. Before even giving the icebreaker, I did the TMODU. And one day when I came for the evening meeting, he asked me, Smita, what role will you play today? I said, I'll take the tag role. Yeah, that's the one usually available at that point. Why don't you do the TTM? You can do more than that. Team member. Oh. So I took up, and that day I bagged the best role taker award. That was a big boost to my low-lying confidence. And my Toastmasters journey started with a bang. Then I went ahead with my icebreaker and CCs. I had many challenges. I didn't know how to fit in my speech in that 5 to 7 minutes. I didn't know how to pick speech topics. I didn't know how to convey speech with message. So I looked my mentor, Mr. Cherian. Cherian in his flamboyant style said, Smita, what is the takeaway from your speech? Put that as in 5 to 10 words and say a speech, develop on it. He was very strict mentor. He would never let me say a speech unless I'm very prepared. I learned the power of words and how to write a speech. He was a master of using the stage area. He gave me the basics of that. And then came a time in my Toastmasters journey. Procrastination was my mistake. I would send the speeches at the last moment to this mentor. And he was never discourage me. He will give that golden advice. I will implement it and my speech will go from this level to this level. One day, once I had to give a presentation to students who were appearing for board exam. So I decided I'll start the presentation by a girl, Meera, who's asking me tips to ace the exam. So I consulted with Rajdeep sir. He told, Smita, why don't you make it like Meera has already finished the board exam and he's a topper. Make it as if he is giving the winning tips. And this statement of his made wonders. The audience was so glued. It was the best presentation on that day. I was invited to have lunch with all the head of the institution who were present there. And quoting Oprah, a mentor is someone who allowed to see the hope inside yourself. And that is what exactly Roscoe sir did to me. When the lockdown started, I called up sir and said, sir, I had to finish 10 speeches in 2.5 months. But then without a blink of the eye, yes, Smita, why don't you 1 week, 1 speech, okay? And you'll be able to finish it. He made it look like it was so easy. It was not a problem at all. He did not look at my past. I had done 10 speeches in 4 years. It was not easy. There were days when I had to give 2 project speeches. There was a speech when I faced a Q&A session. There was a day when I gave speech on abstract topic. Without him, how I would have done all his inputs. Just push me to do it. The tips, tools, and techniques given by the FPGs made my life easier, simpler, and productive. And as for you, all those who are patiently listening to me, my evaluators, people who are kind enough to give inputs to me, the tag players, all of them, they are also part of, I'm mentored by you. And as Toastmasters, aren't you all FPGs, friends, philosophers, friends?
Smita, for sharing your inspiring journey as a Toastmaster and for acknowledging all the people who have helped you. Now, moving on to our final speaker. Now, our final speaker is going to be attempting level 2, project 1 of presentation mastery part. Now, coming to his evaluator. Now, his evaluator told me that in his college days, he tried to learn the mouth organ to impress girls. Although, may I request Kamlesh to read the guidelines.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So, the purpose of this project is to learn the basic or different communication style and share the impact of this style on a so timer, please note that timing is a 5
minutes to him. He told me success is a world around him without pain. Before joining Toastmasters, this speaker disliked long speeches, but now it changed once he joined. With his speech titled The 4 Communicators, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Andan.
The year is 2009, and I'm in my second grade. I remember me and my mom having a meeting with my class teacher. She just told one thing. Hamdan is a very bright student, but he talks more than he listens. He is a very talkative boy who actually disturbs the class all the time. As time passed, I found out that I love to hang out with people and be praised by them. Similarly, I also found out that I always, make my decisions based on an impulse. Today, I found out that I'm an initiating communicator. So, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dears. Good evening. So, let me tell you a story about 4 communicators named initiating, direct, supporting, and analytical. All the 4 were working in the same company, with direct being the manager. Direct was a very focused and competitive person. With he was very focused and competitive person who always expected efficient results from his employees. On the other hand, initiating was a fun, loving, and carefree person, but he was very enthusiastic with his work. Direct was always annoyed by the way initiating used to behave, and on the other hand, initiating used to always wait for the right moment to just be praised by his manager. So one day, what happened? Initiating was he actually made a huge sale. He could not wait to tell about this to his manager. He entered the room. Mr. Direct, may I enter the room? Yes, you may enter. Mr. Direct, you can't believe what I just did today. You remember that sale which supporting could not make last week? So today morning, what happened? I was on my way to the office and I wondered what went wrong with that sale. You know what? I guess it's because of his indecisive personality that he lost his sale. Mr. Initiating, it's been a long and tiring day. Please be straight to the point. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So as I was telling, as I was reaching the office, I just the first thing I did was I made a call to Mr. Brown, with whom supporting lost his sale, and we spoke for around 2 hours. Mr. Initiating, please be straight to the point. So I cleared that sale which supporting could not make. That's it. like you took so much time just to tell this one thing. Why don't you be more direct? Why not you be like? Why not you just be straight to the point? And if you do your work, which I assigned you, listen. What works, sir? See, that is your problem. You don't. You talk more than you listen. Why not you be more precise and disciplined like your friend analytical? He actually, you both work in the same company, and yet so much difference. Please go learn something from him, and please leave. Direct completely extinguishes anger on initiating, and the latter totally lost his motivation. As he was leaving the office, he met his friend supporting. Supporting at that moment knew that something is wrong with initiating because of his face. So he just asked him out for a drink. As these both were having drinks, initiating dragged out his entire story to analytical, like to supporting, and he actually patiently listened to the entire story. Supporting was a very, what do you say, sympathetic and cooperative person. And as soon as initiating finished his entire story, he replied, "See, nothing is wrong with you. You are just a bit talkative and or hyperactive, but you have to love your your enthusiasm. Mr. Direct is actually just a bit impatient, but don't think that he has any favorites. He actually likes the way you work. You just have to cooperate with the way he communicates with you. That's it." So after listening to this, initiating tried to change himself. Moving on. So the story gets over. Now let's talk about the 4 communicators which you want to know about. First one, initiating. Initiating is a very enthusiastic communicator. He really loves to be praised and approved, but he loves to talk a lot and he doesn't let others to give their opinions. Direct is a person who is who expects from his employees who expects the employees to be straight to the point. He is a very focused communicator. He is result oriented and competitive, and people due to his character, people consider him to be a bit impatient and demanding. The third character, supporting. Supporting is a very cooperative and a friendly communicator. He precisely listens to his friends and tries to solve their problems. But due to his indecisive personality, he doesn't. He actually because of an indecisive personality, he had to face a lot of problems like loses sale with Mr. Brown. And the fourth character, analytical. Well, he wasn't there a part of the story because he was just a cameo character, you can say. He is a very cautious and disciplined person, and he's careful in what he talks and what he does, and he's a very methodical problem solver. He is often diplomatic in his interactions, which make Direct to actually like him. So now, after the story gets over, one fun fact about the story is that it is kind of based on a true story. Because these 4 communicators are present within all of us. I recently found out that initiating is present within me. Now it's your turn to find out which communicator is present within you. And hopefully, we all Toastmasters can work on our communicator within us and try to help the communicators within others. So that's it. Over to you.
I'm sure right now, every time we speak, we're actually going to be wondering what kind of communicator we come across as. So we're going to be on our best behavior, and a lot of people are going to be silent now during the break, right? So yeah, speaking of break, that ends the prepared speeches, and it's time for a break. Everyone, all members, you'll have received the passcode. There's a link. The passcode is 141, and we're going to break for 5 minutes and see you back for a lot more table topic and evaluation. Thank you. And Guru's waiting for the snacks eagerly, waiting for you to have the snacks. So please help us. Thank you.
1412 is not
Requesting guests who's asked, not determined place. Requesting guests and Toastmasters, not determined place. Thank you.
We will keep it up. Yeah.
No, I can.
Hello, hi, no? You were outside, no? Have you joined us? Good.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you.
Okay, everybody, I know everyone's busy eating, but welcome back. And now we're going to move on to the table topic session. Now, when I asked the table topic master what success means to him, he spoke about mountains, nature, and a peaceful existence. He's someone who loves swinging, not swinging, swimming. He loves swimming and traveling. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Sandani. Thank you, Alan, for that wonderful introduction. Dear President, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Good evening. Good evening. Right now, you will be having an opportunity to practice in one of the most interesting sessions of this meeting. That's the table topic session. It's something like, the table topics is something like it's easy when you are sitting there, but when you come on the stage, you enjoy it more. So I encourage the participants to come and enjoy it on the stage. The table topics are fairly short enough, lasting for 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, the timer will show you the green card. At 1.5 minutes, it will show you an yellow card. And at 2 minutes, it will show you a red card. That's where you need to almost stop your speech. So looking for a great session today. To start with, the first topic is your biggest fear. Your biggest fear, and for this I would like to call Rajdeep. Toastmaster Rajdeep.
I was invited to give a talk to a college some years back. It was the MP Birla Institute of Management, and it was the orientation. So I was about to enter the class, and there was a very, very prominent personality, Mr. Mathur Krishnamurthy, who told me, Rajdeep, 100 hours, be careful, 100 hours. I thought he had mistaken me for a faculty. I said, sir, I'm just come here for an orientation and I'm going to speak for only 1 hour. over here. I'm not going to teach the class for 100 hours. But he said something after that which made a big difference to my life. He said, no, Rajdeep, there are 100 students and you're going to speak for 1 hour. If you are not going to make an impact in that 1 hour, you're going to waste 100 man hours of people which they could have done something in those 100 hours. After that, it struck me that as a speaker, whether I'm speaking in class, whether I'm speaking to public, whether I'm trying to motivate, whether I'm trying to inspire, or whether I'm trying to give information, my biggest fear is in that time given to me, whether I'm able to make that impact. So when I was coming here, I was just thinking, if I'm not going to do well in 2 minutes, I'm not wasting 2 minutes, I'm wasting 1 hour. If there are 30 people here and 2 minutes, you could have done so much more with your time. So my biggest fear is the fear that will I live up to the expectations? Will I live up and do something which will make an impact? And that sense of responsibility is my biggest fear. Thank you so much.
The next topic is, do you believe in hard work or luck? Do you believe in hard work or luck? And for this, I would like to call Srijit. Mask and luck or hard work. Inside me, I wanted to be lucky. But how? It's not very easy, right? We cannot see, previously somebody was telling. I also used to watch these motivational videos. So many videos, time will go, I won't do anything. So, if you want to be succeed, you have to do hard work. And somebody spoke about Michael Jordan, basketball player. If you see, there is a documentary in Netflix, The Last Dance. It's very inspiring. If you watch, you all will love basketball. That's how he did the hard work. And people used to say that he is a lucky person, but background how much he is doing, nobody was knowing. He was working so hard. That's why whenever he put the ball, he can close his eyes and basket that ball. So if you want to be succeed, you have to be hard worker. But me, I don't know, I'm still figuring it out. Thank you. The Infosys director once said, the more you work hard, the luckier you get. So moving on to the next topic. Success is never ending. Failure is never final. Success is never ending and failure is never final. For this, I would like to call Shreyas Srinivas.
Thank you, Toastmaster. I think, yes, I totally agree with that statement. Success is never ending because every time we think we have achieved something, there's always another person who is going to be better than you at the same craft, at the same moment. And that, I think, is a testimony to us that we have to always be humble and we should always look at success as something we need to use as leverage to make ourselves better. And every time we try doing that, I'm damn sure we end up with something called hurdles. And we fancily call it failures. And that, my friends, are not failures exactly. They are also successes because that is when you succeed in realizing that you have found a better way to correct that mistake you have done. And if not, then you can also reach out to those people who are really good at it and still move ahead in life. And that is the true definition of success, is what I feel. Also, another thing about success is it's very elusive. We think that just because we got like 100 likes, like the next day, and today we got 2000 likes, doesn't mean that we are succeeding. Maybe the next day you'll get maybe 10 likes. Maybe people don't like it. People do not resonate with what you're trying to do. So it's all about trying to find the type of people who also resonate with the type of things you do, which will inevitably be a gratifying experience, because that is when you start to talk to people, share ideas, and they will be willing to help you because they do like the work you're doing. And that is also another way of defining success. Yeah, so success is not the end, and failures keep coming. We need to move on. Thank you.
They say success and failure both are journey, and you need to enjoy both of them. I hated every minute of this training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. I hated every minute of the training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of the life as a champion. For this, I would like to call Guru.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests. Good evening. Thanks a lot, dear Toastmaster, for a very lengthy topic. After long distribution. You want to, if when we want to do something, we need to put ultimate effort. Okay, whether it is a challenge or whether it is kind of any kind of problem. I was while driving down I was talking to Rajesh sir. I said in my childhood I have a stammering problem. Okay, on top of that my communication is very normal. I don't have any interest in learning English language. On top of that, side effect, mother tongue influence, too many effects. But after coming to Bangalore, if you want to be the leader, if you want to rule the market, if you want to be the number one in the market, many times the communication is one thing which has stopped me at the back. Every time I want to climb, this communication is to come and pull my leg. Then I decided, let us struggle now. But once you become the champion, let's not struggle. So once I become the number one in the market, I should not struggle with my communication. So what I feel is, when you are doing something, you put your 100%, struggle, but ensure that you go to the top. After going top, don't worry about the back. The past is past. Past is the history. Or to the last.
Can anybody guess whose statement is this? Yeah, right. Like a heavyweight champion, like Guru. The best way to make your dream come true is to wake up. The best way to make your dream come true is to wake up. And for this, I would like to call Mahesh.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Good evening. Dream always fascinates me. I love to dream because I can think whatever is unimaginable, which otherwise I would not achieve. That was the thought, it was always there in my mind. But now I truly believe what you dream, you wake up and you keep that intuition, you can definitely get it. And the classic example is earlier I used to always think that I could never run a marathon. I started dreaming about it, that I will take a baby steps. First, I tried to do a 5 kilometers, then 10 kilometers, then 21, and then of course the full marathon, that is 42. And it all started from the dream. I used to think about it. It used to be very painful. My legs would really pain. I would have soreness all over my body, but that would not deter me at all in terms of achieving the goal. And it is definitely what is really needed is the practice, continuous practice, day after day, months over months, and then even years. So that's what helped me to achieve and become a marathoner. And as I'm speaking today, last year, that is in 2019, I did a ProCam Slam which covered 4 cities. And today I got the gift from the ProCam. So that actually gives me the success award. Thank you.
If you want to win, you will never retire. If you want to win, you will never retire. Any of the guests would like to take? Sanjana? Maybe, yeah, Sanjana.
If you want to win, you can never retire. So you start competing with people and you come, first or second, but people will get beyond you, and still you need to compete with them. So you can't just sit. See, in a running race, in a running race, there's the whistle blows and the runners run. So at the last moment, if the first person who's running at the first, he thinks, oh, I'm just first, let me see back and who's behind me, that 1 second makes a difference. So the second person behind him can just run and make it to the end point. So you can't if you want to win, you can't retire. So that's
If you want to shine like a sun, you have to burn like a sun. If you have to shine like a sun, you have to burn like a sun. So I would like to call the guest. The last one, raise the hand. Yeah.
My dear Toastmasters and thank you. My dear Toastmasters and guests, of course, I am also the guest. I aspiring for the civil service examinations. After my engineering graduation, I started preparing for that. And that takes me sweat, blood, efforts. I want myself with it, and I wanted to shine by succeeding in that examinations. First attempt did, second attempt did, third attempt, I lost by 1. Still, I was burning inside. It's like losing my girlfriend, or if I were a married person, it's like losing my better half. It was such a feeling. But I decided life is not a full stop. Let us begin. So I pursued in my career. I was accidental salesperson. I also suppose that Guru Prasad sir is also into the same field. So today, my dream, my passion is to win the customer. And today, I shine along with my customer. Thank you so much.
Want to know another shortcut for success? Take a risk. Want to know another shortcut for success? Take a risk. For this, I would like to call Vivek Vijayan. The very stereotypical answer would be that, yeah, if you want to succeed, take this. I work out of a co-working space which is full of startups. You know, people say if you have to succeed, you have to leave your job. You have to succeed. You have to come out of your comfort zone. See, all the problem with all these slogans and all these sayings is that this is very much written in the Western world, where the roti kapda makan is taken care of. Okay, then you can kind of leave your job. You can do all these drama and do, but that's not possible. So for many of you who are here, who are like in your 20s, do not jump to the conclusion that I have kids at my office. Say I want to retire at 30. I want to travel at 35. All this are fine if the government takes care of it. If there is something that's coming out of it. As long as we have not reached that stage. India has not reached that stage. We'll reach a stage where 3 generations later we might reach that stage. At this stage, I don't even believe that we will reach that stage. We'll reach that stage. Eventually, when we reach that stage, we have to work hard. Okay? So as they told one in the 15th century, one of the presidents of the United States has told, we have to study pottery so that our kids can study engineering. They have to study engineering, maths, whatever, so that the next generations can start studying arts and liberal arts, literature, all those. You can't jump, don't do that. Okay? You can't take risks sometimes because you have to be grounded. That's perfectly fine not to take risks, not to just resign, go do something. We will have to be. Not everybody, some people, some of you must be really fortunate to go ahead and do that, but some of you hold on. When I joined Toastmasters, somebody told like, if you want to climb success faster, then get onto the stage. So that's the risk that you have to take. Life is about making an impact, not an income. Life is about making an impact and not an income. For this, I would like to call Abhay. Sanjay. Life is about making an impact and not making an income.
I would beg to differ with that topic that's been given, because anything in the world, if you want to make an impact, you need the money to whatever to make that happen, because things doesn't work out in a say for charity way, because everything runs on money. So we need to make certain income and certain money to make an impact. Say you want to teach some kids in the village, so you need people and we need the resources and everything. To do that, we need to raise money. So money is a critical element in whatever we want to do. It plays a role. Say my last speech was based on relationships, which is a key to happiness, is what the Harvard study says. So if you see that money is an important tool to create the environment in which the relationship you cherish, that it flourishes in those environments. So we need money. I would completely disagree with the topic, and over to you.
Loud, smoke, and cough are hard to hide. Loud, smoke, and cough are hard to hide. And for this, I would like to call Sujata. Loud, smoke, and cough are hard to hide.
Good evening, the Toastmasters and guests. Thank you for the nice topic, Mr. Topic Master. I don't know what I will be. Of course, love, smoke, and cough. Of course, all the three are very hard. Love is also very extreme, and smoke also it is extreme level. And cough is also. When cough comes, control, yeah, cough and stomach will pain. If love is, if it is more, heart will pain. If you smoke more, and your health will get spoiled. So, according to me, everything should be in its own limits. Even if it is a love or smoke, whatever. Of course, cough is a health-related issue. If everything is under control, it's good for health and good for others also. Thank you.
Better to go to heaven in rags than to go to hell in embroidery and jewels. Better to go to heaven in rags than to go in hell in embroidery. I would like to call for this Mahavir.
Lovely Toastmaster. Neither do hell or heaven exist for me right now. Present, I'm here. So if I'm in rags, I probably want to make an income first so that I can make an impact. So I'll make sure that I work hard at this age, make a little bit of income, at the same time make an impact, little impact that I can do. Maybe teaching in schools, or say going for a marathon, raising funds for charity, or yeah, larger impact. When I make more income, then maybe set up a foundation and help out kids by teaching them, giving them good education, because we have to get there, we have to reach to the West. We are still a developing country, and I'm sure because of the skilled youth, we'll soon get there. So yeah, heaven and hell, both are here. And we'll make sure that this becomes heaven with all the riches and the impact that it makes. Okay.
If people don't laugh at your goals are too small. If people don't laugh at your goals are too small. And for this, I would like to call Anna. If people are not laughing at your goals are too small.
A very good evening, Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. So good to be back in BTMC again. Going to the topic is yes, I totally agree. If your goals are small, I mean, if your goals are too small, what did you say?
If people are not laughing at your goals, then your goals are too small.
Okay, great. Okay. Yes, of course. We always, I've listened to something to say that aim for something so high that you know that only God can let you achieve those goals. So, and if people laugh at you, you know that's something unachievable, and you work towards it one step at a time, just one step at a time. You will achieve it, and then give it your best. Then you know if you succeeded, it is for you. If it isn't, then you have given your best. With every goal we keep, once we know you have given your best, if you reached it or not, that's up to the Almighty. So I think the goals are it keeps you going in life and keeps you keeps you on your toes. So it's great to have goals always. Everyone, I'm sure each one of us have goals. So if we achieve it, nothing like it. Great. Thank you so much.
Live life a little dangerously. Live life little dangerously. And for this, I would like to call Priyanka. Live life a little dangerously.
I completely
agree with this topic. The reason because I've always tried to be always in my comfort zone, try to be safe, never try to do anything beyond what I can never imagine. It's very recently I realized so important to come out of the comfort zone. If you do not come out of the comfort zone, you will be somewhere laid back. You'll be so bad that you will never understand how things are just going out of your hand. It's very important that you learn everything. You observe a lot, which I never used to observe things down. I used to just like live my life very carelessly. So I always observe things. So I just said learn it's important that you observe everything around you. Try to get yourself involved in every minute that you're living, so that whatever you might encounter in your life, you can, instead of putting a step back and say, no, I cannot do, just give it a shot and just see if you can do it or you cannot do it. Instead of trying to be safe or play safe and not going out of the comfort zone. So it is now that I've started taking that big step. One of the big steps is joining Toastmasters. Talking to such a huge gathering was never my comfort zone. Or talking to strangers, or always prefer to communicate with people that I know or I'm confident with. I never take that step to go and talk to a stranger. But coming this big, I would give this credit to my brother who pushed me into this. And because of him now, I think I can actually mingle and talk to people, get out of my comfort zone. And I'm trying to take bigger risks in my own life in terms of my job and other aspects. So I would just say that just get out of comfort zone. Comfort is good, but not comfort is not too good because it's just going to let you stand where you are. You will never get out of where you want. You'll never reach where you want to be in life, or you'll never know what you want to do in life. If you really want to know what you want to do, then you have to get out of the comfort zone. Thank you.
I had a wonderful time. I really enjoyed how people answered and managed to give the topics and speak for more than 1 minute, especially how Rashdeep handled the difficult question and how Guru handled and the smoke love you handled very well. Thanks. Over to you, Usman. Thank you, Samnani, for that wonderful table topic session. Please give him a huge round of applause. Hearing this applause, do you know that I've said this before, but for the interest of the guests, you know, clapping is good for health.
Yes.
Yeah, it stimulates the acupuncture points, and it also makes people feel good. So why don't we make everyone feel good, including yourself, and let's all remain in the best of health. So now that we have clapped, it's an ideal clap. So the person who's going to come now and take forward the evaluation session, it's time to welcome the general evaluator to be leading us into the evaluation session. Before that, Priyanka is frantically telling me about the link that has been sent to you, and the code is 1427. 1427. Yeah. So now moving on to the evaluation session, may I call forward BTMC. Please give a huge round of applause.
You can hear me. Guru. You can hear me.
1421.
Thank you, Alan, for that great introduction that you gave me. A very good evening.
Good evening.
My fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. There was this young professor who had a long string of degrees and including several PhDs. And he was sailing with an old sailor who was illiterate. So they got friendly, and every time this sailor would come and chat with him, he'd ask, as he was going away, he would ask him, "You know what oceanography is?" He says, "No, sir. I'm sorry, I'm illiterate." He says, "It is the knowledge of oceans. You have lost almost a quarter of your years by not knowing this." And like this, he would ask him, "What is meteorology? What is geology?" And he went on, and each time this sailor would feel very bad that he doesn't have any knowledge. Finally, every dog has its day. This sailor had his day. She came running to this young professor and said, "Sir, do you know what swimology is?" He said, "Sorry, I don't know what swimology is." And he said, "Sir, if you don't know swimology, your entire life is gone. Our ship has hit a rock and is about to sink, and if you don't know how to swim, you can't reach this shore." So, my dear friends, it's no point in just collecting knowledge unless you don't have any practical knowledge of how to lead your life, and especially in this ocean of life where you need to swim through it. And how true this is of Toastmasters. We have all the information and knowledge well documented in the manuals, and however much you learn about it, unless you come and perform on the stage, you cannot hope to earn your success. So therefore, success has to be earned. And this general evaluation session that we have helps you earn more and more success, because we tell you what your strengths are, what you did well, what you could do better, and we also tell you how you can do it better. So let's take a quick look at the meeting today. In fact, we started 1 minute earlier. Thanks to Bangalore Toastmasters that keeps up this tradition of time. Great effort is made to start off the meeting, because when you start off something on time, it builds up. It builds up, and then everything goes on well. To kickstart the meeting, we had a stand-in Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Shreyas, who has been at this role for a long time. He's been helping the earlier teams, and now he has taken on the responsibility because the actual Sergeant at Arms had some other problems. Well done, Toastmaster Shreyas, for that. And I liked your enthusiasm. Last week, you took on the role of Toastmaster of the Day. Today, you're here as the Sergeant at Arms. Keep it going, and you will definitely earn success. Now, if you want to excel in this, I have a few suggestions. Firstly, the board, I don't know why the Taggle team was left out. I know there are last-minute changes, perhaps because of that. But the important skill that we are sharpening in Toastmasters, that of the listener, has been left out. Yeah? And please make a note of it. People should not be bad about it. And then what I felt was, this is my personal opinion, you started saying that, we have this lineup and this, that, and all, which is a very mundane thing. You could have straight away dived into the thing about basketball. How many of you love basketball? And then, brought out that story, made it a little crisper. And I like the way you creatively connected it, just as basketball has these, lines drawn on. We in Toastmasters also. That was a wonderful creative connection. Yeah. So try and open with a bigger bang in the beginning. You are the ones setting the tone for the meeting. But on the whole, a great job done. You know the content, you know how to do this, and your introduction of the president too was really good, right? So keep it up. So let's give Toastmasters. Our president take over, and as Toastmaster Somchenkar last week said, he was literally like jumping out of the screen, and he was full of josh. He kick-started the meeting with a real bang. I like the way you had the bang, and you had that personal stories. I'm sure by now someone can be writing a biography, right? And good stories. You connected well, and on the whole, you did a great job. Maybe how do we greet our guests? You could have said, "Welcome guests," and let's welcome them. Maybe the word "welcome" would make guests feel a little better. But otherwise, on the whole, a great job. Maybe in between, I felt you a little frowning. I don't know what happened. Maybe because I was sitting there right in front of you. Could be that. But if you can keep up that smiling face, and even the introduction was great. You had that enthusiasm. So well done, President. Let's give him a good round of applause. Secondly, read out the minutes of the meeting. Well done, Kamlesh. You're doing your job well. Perhaps a little earlier the minutes, it would have been but there's pressure in our minds. So if we want to, make any corrections, we can do it. You said the best role taker was Mr. Toastmaster Somchenkar. Perhaps could have mentioned it the GE role. Yeah, that's the only small suggestion I have. But I like the way you also are making the most of Toastmasters. I've seen you as part of a speech craft, the various roles you're taking, the speeches you are taking up. Well done. Keep it up. And let's give him also We next have our Toastmaster of the day take over, Toastmaster Alan. And he's a true embodiment of how a Toastmaster evolves. From 2013 to now, you have definitely evolved, Toastmaster Alan. I remember you as a person with a sleepy voice. But today I saw your voice become really thunderous and the right way. Because that is how, when it came to the introduction, you went full steam and the energy was kept up, right? Keep it up. And only thing, just before the break, I don't know why your voice fell. Sometimes in between it used to fall down. Break, understandable because everyone gets hungry then. But otherwise, try and keep up that tempo. And your introductions were great, something different. And mind you, as Toastmaster of the day, he has contacted me and tried to get something different, which I find many Toastmasters fail to do. Because whenever you speak to the people, you definitely get some interesting information. Keep it up, Alan. Well done. Let's give him a good round of applause. Our prepared speech session. The first speaker was Alok Sinha, and to evaluate him, we have Joseph Paul. May I call upon Joseph Paul to give his feedback?
And general evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, and speaker Alok in particular. All our club members know very well that you are an eloquent, competent, and a very accomplished speaker. So I'm not going to get into the details of the general aspects of public speaking, basically the delivery part of it, like clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, and such other aspects of delivery, because I found that you were exemplary and very good at it today. So, and moreover, very articulate, and you had a lot of humor in your speech. So that kept the audience engaged, and I saw them listening very attentively to you. So I think I'll straight away get into how you addressed the topic and the speech, how it went to achieve the purpose of the speech. First thing that I was impressed was that your speech was very well structured. Now you started with a quote which was apt about mentorship. Then you mentioned three important persons who mentored you, who had a huge influence in your life, and I think they were very clear. And you went in a chronological order, which made it very easy for us to understand and follow. Then you were very clear about the impact and their influence in your life. So that I think was very well put, and I would very vividly recall you talking about the English teacher, the art of pausing, drawing a line. I think you captured it very well, and it helped us understand that. And endorsing their influence in your life, you encouraged the audience to be a prodigy. So I think that was very well done. Now, your speech, I think, clearly established a sovereignty of mentorship in helping one find success in one's life. So I have very little to suggest. I couldn't find much to suggest, but I thought these were very small points, but maybe you can take it. One is about naming these mentors. I had a short discussion with you, and I understand that it was your deliberate personal choice not to name them. But in the interest of the audience and other members, sometimes when you have the name of a person, you can relate, the audience could relate to that person very well. But I respect. Another aspect was that you have taken 6 minutes, which is between the 5 and 7 minutes limit, and I think that was very well done. But considering that you had 1 more minute, maybe you could have a few points on the benefits of having a mentor. Though you mentioned about the short term and long term, maybe a little that extra time could have some more points. And the three mentors were three different. You could have used possibly 3 different area of the stage. While coming to each person, that these were very small suggestions, but I think you did very well, and your speech, I think, echoed the theme of today's meeting, that success is not learned, but it is earned. All the very best for your next speech. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paul, for your evaluation. And yes, I like the way you lifted the improvement. You first said everything was fine, and if I can give you some suggestion, that was a nice way of slipping and helping the person know what areas are there for improvement, because excellence is a never-ending journey. There's always something more to learn. Our second speaker, so let's give the evaluator and the speaker a good round of applause. Our second speaker was Toastmaster Smita Roshi, and I would call upon her evaluator, Toastmaster Teresa, to give me her feedback.
Feeling great. Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, esteemed guest, and dear Toastmaster Smita Roshi. Congratulations. Let us clap together for completing a level 2. Smita, your objectives were clearly defined. How Toastmaster divisions mentoring, and to share some aspects of your experience as a prodigy. Both aspects you fared very well. Toastmaster Smita, I love the way you stood here and gave a beautiful smile. There I found that, yes, Smita is confident again and again. And you started your speech with the dialogues, and all the audience were glued to your speech. I loved that too. And the way you moved the stage, 3 places where you said, you used the stage very well, your body language, your gestures were everywhere apt. When you said your facial expression, I was depressed. Yes, the face was small. When you smiled, your face was broad. 100% you did very well. You looked each and every person, even you looked at me, where I can say eye contact was very good, and your humor was subtle when you said 3 kids, including husband. Yes, I too patted myself. Good one. And today you converted this day as Guru Purnima, or I can say Teachers' Day, and you reminded my mentor and all the 3 mentors, and I too got their name flashed in my mind. Those I liked when you said you took their name as the friend, philosopher, and guide. When you mentioned those 3, FPG, you took their name, and DTM Bosco, and also Dr. Rajdeep Manman. I wished those 3 were here, and their joy would have been doubled, and they would have mentored some more. But anyways, Dr. Rajdeep is here. He will tell them next time, please make sure them to be here, or at least give them the Zoom link, and I would have wished at least they could have heard, and they would have really delighted to see your growth. And your speech was very well constructed, and you did not fumble anywhere, and you were very confident, and I know there we can see you practiced very well. And at the end, you quoted Ofra's quote saying, a mentor is someone who allowed to see hope in yourself, where I felt. And I took that lesson as a mentor to my mentees. Yes, some or the other day, my mentee also should come here and speak about me. Thank you, Toastmaster Smita. When I said all these good points, Smita, I was searching where I can evaluate you and give you one feedback so that the speech will take another level. There I found you spoke everything about mentors. But as a protege, as a mentee, I heard very little. Because in your objectives, 50% was mentor, 50% of mentee or protege. There, I found that portion was maybe about 10%. So next time, see the objectives and go full 10%, and your speech will go to next level. By summing up, I say, you were good in all aspects because you are a very good storyteller. There is a humor, body language, eye contact, clarity, your simple language, and even the time you have taken exactly 7 minutes, 24 seconds, only 6 seconds were left for your qualifying time. Look at the time. What more? Congratulations. Go for every round of applause.
Thank you, DT and Teresa, for that very, very enthusiastic feedback. And I'm sure Smita would have reached the 7th heaven. You really charged her up for many more greater speeches. Well done. And that brings us to the end of the prepared speech session. Yes, I have nothing more to add to your evaluation. You have covered everything. Jaina, one, this you can also time the evaluators also.
One speaker is one evaluation.
Hamdan. Oh, sorry. I got so carried away by your joke. Okay. And we had a 3rd speaker. See, she makes you forget everything. Our 3rd speaker was Hamdan, and sorry, you're sitting right in front of me and I didn't realize it. And the evaluator was Toastmaster Kamlesh. Please come.
Thank you for giving me chance. Good evening, General Communicators, Toastmasters, and guests, and good evening, Hamdani in particular. So, art of communication is a language of effective leader, and today, Hamdani, you have demonstrated your leadership on this platform after a long time.
So wonderful, and you have done a good job today. So give him a round of applause. Speech based on the guideline given. And first, it talks about the different communication style, and you have demonstrated exactly what we wanted. You have given a presentation, and you have acted on the presentation itself. So you have created the picture of different character. I was thinking that it is just like a Mickey Mouse, and in the office how they are working together. So it was a really picture, and you have demonstrated what are the different kind of communication style, and that you have done a wonderful job. Second, that I also liked that the way you are talking to in a different characters. So people can able to catch attention through the presentation and also your body language and the way you are speaking. So that is a great. Coming to the guideline, if I need to recommend something, then it talks about that how your communication style is making impact to others. I think most of the time, about 80% of your speech talking about the different style, and you initiated your own style very 10 to 20%. I think that has to be make impact to the audience how you are, and it is good start, and so that people can remember that how you are a communicator. Second area of improvement that I would recommend, that most of the time you are looking at the center, and I think you are carried away by the character. So you are centered to the hall. So you should be looking around the audience so that you can connect to the audience easily. So that is my suggestion. And otherwise, you have done fabulous job, and you have demonstrated your style. That was fantastic. Over to you. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kamlesh. I know, I won't take offense, don't worry. And yeah, you rightly pointed out that, it should have been more focused on the impact of his own style on others. Maybe, I thought maybe you saw the red card and then wound it up very fast, because, that final push to the speaker was a little missing. Yeah. At the end also you need to do it. So just keep that in mind, and you'll do well. You were the unlucky one that got the cards, I know that. The others didn't get it. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of the prepared speech session. We then had our Toastmaster, table topic master take over, Toastmaster Samdani. What I liked is that you connected your topics to the theme. Well done on that. And the themes also the topics that you gave them also came out very well, because they all, came out with their ideas, and sometimes we even got advice from someone there who said, when it came to risk and all that, we also got a lot of takeaways as part of the audience. Well done on that. Where you could have made it more lively is because this is a session where it's full of life and energy, and you should be able to help people overcome that nervousness coming on the stage. I felt that little energy lacking in you, and when you were reading out the topics, I personally felt that you were not yourself sure of the topic, you were reading it. So because of that, many people had a tough time understanding the topic. So maybe a little crisper topic. You started off very well. My biggest fear, short, crisp topic. So it's easy for them to get it and speak on it. Another very small suggestion is, if you start off with a person like BTM Rajdeep, so this is a segment of Toastmasters where people are trying to overcome their stage fear and that speaking spontaneous. Perhaps kept him a little later, right? Because he's the ultimate when it comes to not to run down what he has earned, the success he has earned, but as an encouragement to the other speakers. I felt he could have been brought a little later, right? That's my personal opinion. That's what I suggest. And a little smile on your face would have been great to encourage everyone, right? And keep it up. Well done. It was very a value addition, great value addition to everyone. And let's give Samdani a great round. Now to my team that supported me in this session, I first will call upon Toastmaster Jainam to give. You can stand there and I think to save time to do that. Just stand up there and give us your report.
Okay, so we started the meeting at 6:29 p.m. The sergeant at arms spoke for 5 minutes. The president spoke for 6 minutes and 22 seconds. The Toastmaster of the day spoke for a total of combining everything approximately 11 minutes and 17 seconds. And the prepared speeches, Alok spoke for 6 minutes and 1 second. Smita Roshi spoke for 6 minutes and 7 minutes and 24 seconds. And Toastmaster Hamdan spoke for 6 minutes and 35 seconds. As for the evaluators, Jose Paul spoke for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Teresa spoke for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. And Kamlesh spoke for 2 minutes and 47 seconds. In the table topic session, almost everyone was within time, and those who crossed the time also just about crossed the time. So Shreyas crossed 2 minutes by 4 seconds, and Priyanka crossed 2 minutes by 4 seconds. Everyone else was within the time limit. And the table topic master Samdani was on stage all out from 7:35 p.m. to 8.
Thank you. Thank you, Jainam, for that great post. Special applause for stepping in. And timer Sanjay Rao, I guess you need to manage your time. You're the timer and you're not there. So keep that in mind. Yeah? Just keep that in mind. Yeah? I'm sure if you make up your mind, you can come and start it. Our next our counter, can I call upon Karthik? Will you stand there and give the report?
Our counter, prepared speeches, Samdan, 4 hours and 3 lives. Smita, Toastmaster Smita, 6 hours. And the evaluators, Kamlesh, 5 hours. Joseph Paul, 3 hours. Table topics, Toastmaster Srijit, 1 hour. Shreyas, 4 hours. Toastmaster Guru, 3 Yunos. And Sanjay, 2 hours.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Emeritus Nasni.
Dear fellow Toastmaster and guests, it was a pleasure listening to all your speeches, and I do find a few excellent use of English I would like to share. For example, success exists when leadership exists. Attitude has gratitude. Life is about making impact, not income. Better to go for health in rags than in jewelry up here in heaven. Eloquent, excellent is never ending journey. And meanwhile, I would like to point out some of the words and sentences that can be improved. For example, broken self-esteem is lost my self-esteem. Good collapse is I collapsed. I talked to my dad, I haven't spoken to my dad. Vision is listening. Vision is envision. Composition is composition. I will say them, I present them. Me and my mom and I, if you want to succeed, is if you want to succeed. Basket the ball is shoot a basket. Failure is failure. Cough is cough. Thank you so much. And so the word of the day was used once by Mr. President, Mr. Arifa, BTMC once, Toastmaster Jose Paul once, and Toastmaster Nazni twice. And I would like to end by saying that I'm happy to see that our members are all using the word. I would request you all to use it more often so that we can convey our message clearly. With the sovereignty of BTMC in professional hands,
period. Back to you, General Director. Thank you. Thank you. Just a small suggestion to the, I mean, I would say this is an opportunity to keep your feedback as especially when you time. Try and make a Toastmaster Varsha. Can you come? You can stand from there and ask. Give your.
Thank you, ma'am. No time for background music. So here is Hendrik. Question. First, at the table topic session, there was a wrong code announced in what was Toastmaster coincidentally coughed twice. It was yes. Ayuba's average push-ups at the gym used to be
50.
25. Yes, 26 to 26 days. Alok's teacher suggested him to draw lines at school. Take it in literal sense. 2.
Pause.
Yes, pause. How many babies do Smita Roshi have?
3.
All of you are wrong. Oprah's quote says that old you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dear Marsha, for that even keen observation. Yeah, that's really well done. And that's bringing in a little humor into this role of the listener as well, and creativity. Thanks, hats off to you, even as the role of the grammarian, you used a lot of creativity. Hats off to you. And I've covered everything. Voting, huh? Voting. Oh, sorry, you reminded me about 1421 is that this, and you got it for the evaluators and the role takers. Yeah. I think Toastmaster Somshekar rightly pointed out there were too many interruptions. Yeah. Carry on. Okay. Yeah. I thank the committee for giving me this opportunity. It was a real pleasure. And before I sign off, here's a little goodie for you all. Don't get overwhelmed by your goals, but remember this formula, RI squared, which is recurrent incremental improvement. So whatever you set your goal, say your fitness goal, you decide to do 45 minutes, somehow you're not able to do it on a particular day or for a span of time, do a little so you keep up the momentum. At least do 10 minutes and keep up the momentum, because if you don't do it, you're stagnating and that's regression. So keep going at your goals, do a little to ensure you'll keep up the momentum. All the best for you to earn your success. And it's back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Alice.
Let's give the general evaluator a huge round of applause. I'd like to thank the committee also for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And I would lastly like to end by saying that everyone in this room deserves a huge round of applause, because a successful meeting has been possible because every single person sitting in this room has earned it. Okay, You think as a guest, as a member, I'm just sitting here, maybe I didn't do a table topic, maybe I didn't come, I was not a role taker, but every small applause that you gave, every small smile of yours, encourage some of yourselves, a huge round of applause. Over to our dynamic and
Thank you, Toastmaster Alan, for taking us through this wonderful evening so brilliantly. Thank you so much. Couple of announcements. We have the speech contest on February 19, and we have only 3 registration as of now. I request all the members, all the eligible members, to come forward and register and have fun on February 19, because it's going to be one of the major contests we have in Toastmasters, the table topics and speech contest. And we have speech talks starting on 28th of February, and we have 15 registrations already done, and a few more are going to happen maybe this week by Monday. If you have any of your friends, relatives wanted to join a program, let them register as soon as possible, because the seats are getting filled fast. And thank you so much for all the role evaluators and the faculty team. Couple of awards now. I request District Toastmaster Rajiv Manmani to come to the stage to take the Triple Crown Award for the last year. Now, award for this evening, Best Taggle Team Player. Best table topic speaker goes to Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan.
Only when she spoke that it got
Best
jammed.
evaluator goes to Distinguished Toastmaster.
Yeah, I finished. I'm coming down.
Person who coughed twice.
You're sitting or she's sitting? No, I'll just. No.
And Best Speaker Award goes to Toastmaster Alok Sinha.
No one. Can I get you out of the room?
All the winners of the evening. Next. 5-7 with a Josh, and next come back at another Josh. Thank you so much.